go. We are live now.
Wonderful. Welcome everyone to our Top Question Tuesday. We are excited to talk to you about managing your health routine during the holidays. So we wanted to talk to you guys about this today because, of course, we have US Thanksgiving coming up next week, and we also have Christmas coming up as well. So I know, at least where I'm from, Christmas is kind of like a long, drawn out event. It usually starts in November while you're kind of preparing and baking and getting ready for everything, and then stretches kind of until New Year's, at least over here. So,
Same.
yeah. And you guys, I imagine in the US with your holiday shopping, that the Black Friday and all that stuff that comes after Thanksgiving, and it's kind of like, I feel like Thanksgiving in the US is kind of the beginning of Christmas holidays.
It's actually like Halloween. Like the day after Halloween, all the Christmas stuff goes up, and you kind of sprinkle in some Thanksgiving stuff there. But do you guys not have Black Friday there? I just thought of that now.
You know what? We never used to. We do now. It's pretty new. But our Thanksgiving, I believe, is always the second Monday in October. I'm probably getting this wrong, but it's towards the beginning of October. And then we have the Halloween decorations and all that stuff go up. But yeah, we actually do have Black Friday shopping here now. I got the first flyers in the mail yesterday, so it starts. We actually have sales starting this Thursday and going until, I think it was like 2 weeks worth or something like that. What about you guys?
Yeah, so Black Friday is always, so we have Thanksgiving on next Thursday, and Black Friday usually will start like midnight of that Friday, but now it's creeping into Thanksgiving Day. There's always sales beforehand, but it's called Black Friday, so you go shopping on that Friday. But yours sounds like a 2-week spread.
Yeah, go
What's
figure.
the point of calling it Black Friday then? It's like Black 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I think that you probably get better stuff like the earlier you go shopping. I've
Right.
never been a Black Friday shopper. We have Boxing Day. I don't know if that's a thing in the States, but we
So-
have the day after Christmas is like our big sales shopping day.
Okay. Yeah, so I see it on my calendar every year. I just never knew what it was. So thank you for explaining that to me.
Yeah, that's our Black Friday. But yeah, I think
Okay.
I think there are some deals that can be had here Black Friday and on Boxing Day, but I think you kind of have to like be right on the ball and like the first in there. And I'm just too lazy. I don't wanna.
I don't blame you. Cyber Monday is my jam. Just go online and shop for every deal that you can find. I don't
Yes.
want to go into a store.
Oh, I don't either. And I don't want to be in like the crowds and like people shoving and stuff. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I'd rather just, like the whole cyber, like click the button and get a good deal. And
Right. Right. We always talk about stress. Black Friday is stressful going into a store. I do not do well with that, especially at 3 a.m. in the morning when I've gotten no sleep. So it goes against everything we talk about on these lives here.
Exactly. Unless that's something that totally brings you joy and you could come home and rest after that, then like for sure, go for it. I know, well, we know ourselves. I think it's not my thing. It's your thing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
everyone teach their own.
For sure.
So yeah, like we were saying, we wanted to talk to you guys about just kind of maintaining your health routine during the holidays, and we're going to talk a little bit about how, but we're going to give you some reasons like why. Why is this important to maintain a health routine? Now, I know, of course, with the different festivities and the different like traditional meals and treats and all that, like holiday cheer and stuff that comes up, it's hard to stay on track, or it's hard to be disciplined, because who doesn't want to try all the things? And I think it depends on where you're at as well in your health journey, and where you're at in terms of just like your, I guess, I don't know if level of health is the right word, but I know for my clients in the program, when we're working through our very specific protocol in terms of what we need to eat, sometimes that does fall during a holiday season, because there's never a perfect time to begin your health and healing journey. So sometimes we have to be more disciplined and more strict during those times than we would like to, but there's definitely ways that you can get through it. There's ways that you can modify things so that you can still enjoy yourself, because we don't want to totally fall off the rails during the holidays, because it really can take a hit on us. I know, Casey, you were saying that for those of you who have celiacs like yourself, gluten can really put you back like a few months in terms of your healing. So did you want to say a
Yeah.
little bit about that?
Yeah, 3 months. So let's say you eat a bite of the stuffing. Stuffing always has the breading in it and the gluten. Say you've been working on your healing journey, you've been working on your gut. That sets you back 3 months, just a little bite of that. So it's not worth it. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in the live about how to sway away from that, a mentality shift. I know we all want to eat what normal people eat or what the normal diet is. So we'll get a little bit more into that. Um, but yeah, keep going with what you were saying, Jessica.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the reasons, like I was saying, we don't want to go completely off of our plan is because not only does that affect, how we physically feel, and it can slow down our progress in terms of our healing if we're working to put an autoimmune condition into remission or at least significantly reduce our symptoms. So, we don't really want to set ourselves back so far. Like, is it really worth it, over a holiday season to put yourself back months in terms of your progress? You can still enjoy yourself. There's still ways to enjoy different foods and things without completely derailing your success so far. For example, too, both of our mood and our energy can really go downhill, and that can really interfere with our enjoyment overall of the holidays. If we're eating like too much, too many treat foods, things like that. I know for me, especially when it comes to eating like breads or like cookies or things like that, it really, really saps my energy. And when my energy is low, my mood is also low. And I don't enjoy myself as much because I don't have that energy and that, kind of spunk that I normally would have if I've been eating my healthy food and the things that I'm normally eating. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a lot of times too is we don't think about moods when we think about food and how that can interplay with each other. Because a lot of times, um, it's a joke in my circle, but it's not at the same time. And I'll say, if my mood goes downhill because of this, like just watch out. And they laugh and they're like, oh, that's just an excuse. This happened to me the other day. And I'm like, no, really, like if my body doesn't like something and I eat a food that it doesn't like, let's say a lot of sugar, let's say gluten or dairy or anything like that, I turn into a not nice person. My energy will go down. I'm a little more irritable. I'm moody for sure. I want to take a nap. So it's not just energy and fatigue, it's also your mood and how you're feeling, angry, frustrated, sad, happy, all of those.
Mhm.
So keep in mind that food affects your mood. And if you're wondering why you're feeling a little irritable today, look back and what you ate or how much sugar you had or wine, stuffing, things that go along with the holidays. I know we're on that theme today, but just in general too. And I know we talked about food sensitivities a couple weeks ago. It's the same thing. If you're sensitive to a food that your body doesn't like, your mood is going to change. So, um, and what you also said, Jessica, is that, it puts back our healing. It also puts back our energy and mood for a couple weeks too. One, because it affects our gut and our gut affects our mood and energy, but also because you want to keep eating those things. These foods are here, like the sugar content or the high sugar foods are here. So we keep eating them. So we keep craving them because it spikes our dopamine, it spikes our serotonin and our endorphins, and it makes us addicted to it. It's the same reading as if somebody were going to do cocaine, as if you were going to eat sugar. It's the same light up of the brain.
Mhm.
So if you keep eating these foods after the holidays, um, you're not going to want to work out. You're not going to want to heal yourself. You're not going to want to go on that morning walk that you always go on. You're not going to want to laugh with your friends later on or whatever it is. So why put yourself through that for one day, you know? So we'll give you tips on how to still enjoy yourself through the holidays and not totally and royally mess up your next couple weeks or months and get off track and gain the holiday 15 and put back your healing journey of your autoimmune disease.
Yeah, exactly. I know, Casey, you had some, when we talked about this earlier, you had some really great ideas in terms of how to manage your mindset around this. Um,
Mm,
and I think too,
yeah.
well, there's a lot that to manage your mind around this, but then there's a lot to like kind of modify our food intake, our alcohol intake as well. So
Yeah.
I think we can get into the how, like how do we actually kind of don't go completely off track when it comes to our health routine over the holidays. And I know, one thing is to, instead of having what we normally would have, like if we think back to, let's say, the last holiday season and kind of on average, like how much wine or beer or cocktails we had and all the different foods that we ate. And if we can kind of remember, okay, well, approximately how much did I have? How did I feel? Did I feel like, oh my gosh, I totally went overboard and just felt so lousy? Did I feel like, oh, I had like just the right amount? I didn't like go crazy and like stuff myself and feel like I needed a nap after dinner. Think back to that. And if we felt like we went overboard, just saying to myself, like this year, okay, well, how can I still enjoy things without like really going over the top? So, like if maybe last year you had an entire bottle of wine at Christmas dinner, maybe this time be like, okay, I'm going to have half of that,
Mhm.
and I'm going to really, really enjoy it. I'm going to get a bottle of wine that I really enjoy, a really nice, like whatever varietal you like, and just like take your time and enjoy it and like pay attention to it. Same with your food, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to eat this meal again until next year. So I'm just going to have 2 servings of everything, and then just feel terrible after. Just really focusing on enjoying that food and like what you enjoying, like you choosing the stuff that you really like and really, really enjoying it and like taking your time with it instead of, maybe eating fast and eating too much and then regretting it later.
Yeah, and that goes hand in hand with our live last week about mindfulness. So if you're wondering how to do more of that and to think back, just look at our last live last week, and we go in depth more about how to be mindful. And that's basically what you're saying, Jessica, is look back, be mindful of how you felt last year, if you can remember that, and do something different this time.
Hmm.
And it also, if you feel like you need to binge eat on either Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever holiday is next for you, that's saying something too, because you can have these foods if they're, you know, they don't interfere with your allergies and things like that. You can have these foods all year round in moderation if you really wanted to, and that would stop you from binge eating. I know we're getting more into the intuitive eating and all of that, but don't feel like you can never have these foods again. You can. They're not limited to just one time a year. So that may help you not binge eat this one day of the year, 2 days of the year. And even if you don't want to have it, next summer, oh, there's a loud plane. I'm sorry if you can hear that. Um, you can have it for leftovers. Everybody takes home leftovers. We always have leftovers. So don't feel like you need to eat it in this like 30 minutes of sitting down time.
Hmm.
Um, while you were talking, Jessica, another thing I thought of was staying on your routine up until this one meal that you have. So if you usually go to the gym in the morning, if you usually journal in the morning or do a meditation or yoga, whatever your morning routine is, do it. Just because it's Thanksgiving, just because it's Black Friday or Christmas, that doesn't mean you can't do what makes you feel good still. The week, I know sometimes the week beforehand is busy, families coming into town, or you need to go grocery shopping or whatever. Block a time out in your calendar with what works for you, but still do your self-care, because you're going to be thanking yourself on the day of, because you're going to be present in the moment. You're going to be alert and rested, and you're not going to feel like you need to overindulge in all of this sugar and all of this wine and all of the other stuff that you really, really love.
Yeah, and I also know too, we tend to enjoy things when they're actually a treat as opposed to something we've been eating, for days or weeks before the actual event, just
Yeah.
having so much around and, like I know for myself, I usually bake for my family at Christmas. I also bake for some friends and I try to really limit what I actually eat before Christmas, and I put everything in the freezer because I know it doesn't make me feel very good if I have that,
Mhm.
and it's not as special, and I don't enjoy it as much if it's something that, if I was just grazing on it, like, every day, having a little bit here and there, by the time Christmas actually comes, I probably wouldn't even really want it anymore, you
Yeah.
know?
And
So
you feel sluggish by the time Christmas comes too, because you've been snacking on cookies for a week because you're baking them.
exactly. So staying with your regular eating routine,
Yes.
and keeping those things as treats, absolutely. Um,
Right.
one
And
thing a
it's
lot of sorry, go ahead.
And especially with an autoimmune disease, and I'm speaking just from personal experience here, if I go off of my protocol or my diet routine that I have with the foods that I know my body likes, I'm not going to feel good by that actual event, and I'm not going to be a nice person to greet my family and to cook a whole Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner. So with your healing journey, it's just save it to that one day and modify it as you need to, but don't make a holiday a whole month.
Yes, exactly. Because the hangover from that is very lengthy and
Right.
unpleasant.
Right. Hangover meaning like your healing journey, your wine hangover, cocktail hangover, and your sugar hangover. I know that my body is super, super sensitive to sugar. And if I eat a piece of pie or something that has a lot of sugar in it, I feel hungover the next morning. I don't
Oh,
feel
yes.
dizzy, obviously, if it were wine, but I feel sluggish and brain fog, and I don't want to move, and I'm depressed, and it's bad. It's
I
not worth it.
completely hear you. I call it the sugar hangover.
Yeah.
And it does. It feels like an alcohol hangover. You just
Yes.
feel yuck, like you just don't want to do anything. And then the other thing too with sugar, like you were saying before, it just makes you want more.
Mhm.
So the more you avoid it, the less you want it. But it's so funny. You can be someone who doesn't even like, I'm not a huge sweets fan. And if I have something like sugary, it like I literally find myself craving more of it later.
Yes.
Normally I don't crave sugar, but
Right.
having it makes you actually want more. So it's amazing how these substances can like work on our brain and our body.
Mhm. Yeah. So when that happens, make sure you drink a lot of water. Flush it out. Water also helps satiate your appetite and make you not crave that sugar as much and make your brain a little less foggy. And it's a good way to detox. So flush it out with water, um, and that could help.
Absolutely.
So
Get some movement, even if it's like,
yeah.
brisk walking, that helps a lot and that'll help your mood and it'll help your energy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Burn that sugar off too.
Yeah,
And we're not even talking about weight loss today. I don't care how much weight you've gained, but just for your autoimmune disease and the inflammation in your body, which is the most important thing here. Um,
absolutely.
so another way to combat not, let's say, binge eating on Thanksgiving or Christmas, or not wanting or eating the foods that you know you shouldn't have because they affect your body. For me, it would be gluten and dairy and grains and all of these good foods that are on our holiday. I usually can't eat. So, one thing that I think really would help people, and it helps me, is changing your mentality a little bit. Um, I always say that your mindset runs the world and it runs your life, because if you're not happy with things, your life's not going to be good. If you're happy with things, your life's going to be good. Like, it's everything's a mindset game in life. If you think you're going to get sick, you're going to get sick. It's as simple as that. So One mindset shift that we can make during the holidays is, how do I say this? So we always hear people say, I want to eat what normal people eat. I want to eat normally. And these are people who are doing the protocol, we say, or just on a diet, any diet, really. They just want to eat what normal people eat. So let's break that down for you. What is normal? Is normal the standard American diet? And if you're in the US, you know what that is. That's white bread, that's grains, that's carbohydrates, that's sugar, that's, diet soda, eating crackers, eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's the standard American diet. Is that the normal that you want? Because in America, our normal is obese, overweight, non-active, we're sedentary, and I'm losing what else, but those are the main ones too. We have diabetes, heart problems. Like that is normal in our country. Do we want that? So if you're looking at what everybody else is eating that's normal to you, think about or even observe how they're going to feel afterwards. Their normal is causing them to be sugar hungover or cocktail hungover, wine hungover, gaining more weight, having more psoriasis, or having their joints ache after laying in bed for a week and watching TV because they don't feel like getting out of bed.
Mhm.
Do you want that normal?
Yeah.
I don't.
I
So
think,
if you're choosing between having stuffing inside your turkey for Thanksgiving or, running a 5K the day after or, being able to play with your kids for the next week and feel energized and rested, I'm going to choose the latter. I'm going to choose to, I don't want kids, but run around with my friends and play volleyball and sleep well. So choose your normal and choose your hard, and that might help shift what's going to go on your plate on the holiday.
yeah. And, the standard Canadian diet is very similar as well. Like, lots of refined foods and things that are very addicting, things that make us feel terrible. And like you were saying, what is normal? And I'm going to use the little quotation signs. Normal for a lot of people is really unhealthy. And I think for a lot of people, they've just accepted that they feel like garbage most of the time, and that's normal.
Right.
And yeah, like you said, you have to look at what is the normal that you want. How do you want to feel, and what is more important to you? Is it more important to you to eat, the standard American diet on a regular basis and feel terrible the majority of the time and suffer from autoimmune symptoms? Or do you want your normal to be something new? Do you want to maybe set an example for the people that you love in your life that is also normal? The normal where you feel good most of the time and you're healthy. And I know the food can look very different from what we all, like most of us, have grown up with. And I think just accepting the other mindset part of that, accepting that it's okay. It's okay to have a different normal than other people, and people who genuinely care about you aren't going to, judge you or, make it difficult for you to live your new normal. And I know with my clients, a lot of them right now, they are preparing and getting ready for their menus that they're serving at their Thanksgiving and their Christmas, and coming up with recipes and researching recipes and trying out new recipes that are things that are not going to harm their autoimmune condition, because it's more important for them. They've chosen to feel better and to get healthier so that they have the energy and they feel good and they have that excitement so that they can feel good and do the things that they want to do in their lives and, have the life that they want to have. Because dealing with autoimmune conditions is very, very stifling, and it really, really puts a damper on your quality of life. And so I think it's choosing that quality of life and modifying foods for those holidays too, and planning ahead so that you can feel good.
Yep. Exactly. And you make a good point too, is that everybody's normal is different. So we're really generalizing what normal is. And I think we're going back to what our normal used to be, which is what we want back. I know for me, and I know I'm speaking for Jessica too, but having an autoimmune disease, you will never be healthy going back to your normal. It's not a thing anymore. So you need to accept your new normal and make that work for you.
Mhm.
And I know that this sounds really tough and it's tough love right now, and we may be a little direct, but it's true. If you want to get healthy and you want to stay healthy, your mindset has to shift on going forward and not going backwards. So something I really like to say, or a quote I really liked that's resonated with me just with anything in life, whether it's building my business or it's eating for my autoimmune disease, is you never know who you're inspiring. So what you're doing, you never know who you're inspiring. So let's say you roll up to Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner and you bring a gluten-free stuffing or a dairy-free stuffing, a stuffing that you can eat, let's say, and you bring a side of Brussels sprouts and carrots, everything that you can eat, and you bring that for a side dish for your family or friends, whatever it is. And it may be something that someone has never had before. And they're like, wow, this tasted really good. And it made me feel good too, or it didn't hurt my stomach. You just inspired them right there to kickstart their health journey. So I wouldn't go into it feeling embarrassed like a little kid and their mom hands them, gluten-free crackers and celery sticks. That's not how this is. Everybody feels, I guarantee you, everybody feels sick at some point and they don't know why. And you may be that help for them. So go into it feeling confident and knowing that you're doing something good for yourself and you may be doing something really good for somebody else too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. I think we can end there. That is well said. That's a perfect example. Yeah, love it.
Awesome. Okay. We will be back Thursday.
Mhm.
And we're talking about boundaries, one of my favorite things aside from mind shift talk. And Thanksgiving's not till next week, so I'll tell you Thanksgiving next week. Tell you happy Thanksgiving next week. I'm losing my words. Okay.
Yes.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks everyone for coming. As always, please comment on the post if you have any questions or anything you want to add. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
Awesome. Bye, guys. See you Thursday.
Take care.